As you guys know, I live and die by cold calling. I've made over 40,000 calls on this headset right here, and I quite literally don't make real money in my software sales job unless I'm successful setting up a lot of meetings, and I love making calls. I was absolutely blown away today reading over this news article talking about how Merrill Lynch in their wealth management training division, the executives have banned their over 3,000 employees from making cold calls. Can you believe that? I cannot believe that this was a story. And when you read deeper into it, the executives say that the answer rate was less than 2%. So I think that this is more so negligence on how poorly they've trained their employees and how little support they've given them to be successful. And they've been known to call people on the do not call registry. So I think we can take a page out of their book and do exactly the opposite of what they're doing. With that in mind, what they're starting to train the reps to do is using LinkedIn to prospect. I would love to hear from you now. Comment below, what is your favorite way to generate pipeline? My three favorite ways are cold calling, emailing, and using LinkedIn. So if one of those three are your favorite, comment it below and let me know your strategy just at a high level. If you have ever made a cold call before, I need you to destroy the like button. It really helps and I'd appreciate it. And go ahead and subscribe now. We talk all things sales, cold calling, life of an SDR, life of an account executive, how to find more success sooner rather than later. This is over day 116 in a row putting out a new video. Consistency is key, especially in sales. So I'm gonna deliver a new video to you guys each and every day. In this video, we're gonna talk about this story. I'm gonna share my final reflections on it and then stick around until the end of the video. And I'm gonna share with you my specific prospecting strategies that have helped me generate over $15 million in pipeline in my software sales job. I started out as an SDR, sales development representative. I wasn't very good, so I realized, hey, I need to work harder than everyone else. So I started making more calls. So that's why cold calling is so precious to who I am as a rep. I identify as a professional cold caller. I love cold calling, and the best advice I ever got, because in the beginning, I was scared. In the beginning, I was hesitant. In the beginning, I did not like making cold calls because it was uncomfortable. I didn't want to talk to people. I knew that when I got people on the phone, I wasn't very good. Like many of you, you're just trying to figure out, how can I be better on the phone so that I can set more meetings, generate more pipeline, and then make more money and find more success in my sales job? The best advice I ever got was a guy said, hey Trent, cold calling is never going away. And at first I said, well, maybe technology will evolve. Hey, there's other ways to generate pipeline. He's like, Trent, stop. Cold calling is never going away. And I said, you're right. Cold calling is the most direct way to reach someone on the phone. Of course, in a remote environment, it may be harder to get people on the phone. With spring break, summer break, whatever it may be, people graduating, it's gonna be harder to get people on the phone. Don't make excuses. Go make more calls. It's simply a volume game. So once I accepted that cold calling was never going away, I bought in. And as I said, I've made over 40,000 cold calls. I've learned what to say, I've learned what to do, I've learned what not to do, so that when I read an article that says that cold calling has been banned, it doesn't make sense to me. Why would you eliminate and silo your sales force and saying, hey, clearly you guys don't know how to cold call, so it doesn't work, so you gotta go do it like this and rely on referrals, which I'm sure is good in that line of business, rely on LinkedIn messaging, which I have done LinkedIn messaging. A pro tip here is if you're a first connection with someone, and if you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, go connect with me now. I'd love for somebody to do this on me. So if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, go do this to me now. I think it'd be funny. If you're a first connection with someone, so if you connect with me, if I connect with you, you can use your phone, go in the messages, and you can send a voice message, which I have started to do. I also like to just send messages because I have LinkedIn Sales Navigator and I send credits. LinkedIn is a viable strategy. It's just not the only way. When we think about how football players, how basketball players train, do they just lift weights? Do they like to stretch as well? If you're a Tom Brady, are you doing plyos, whatever it may be? You're doing multiple different workouts so that you can have a versatile skill set and body and athleticism. Just like in sales, you need to be diverse, you need to be versatile, you need to use email, you need to use calling, you need to use LinkedIn, you need to use referrals, you need to get creative. whatever it takes to set up meetings and generate pipelines. So when I read that Merrill Lynch has banned cold calling, clearly somebody over there has never made cold calls before. Clearly their team doesn't have a tool like ZoomInfo to find direct numbers, automatically increase answer rate just by focusing on direct numbers. And in your role, make sure that you find the person on LinkedIn and you find them in your ZoomInfo or whatever tool you have. If you're saying, Trent, I don't have tools, then you gotta make the most of what you have. You can't make excuses. And if you have less than a 2% answer rate, maybe you shouldn't be making calls in the first place. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, I'm gonna go ahead and short that stock because clearly they're not hitting their pipeline numbers and there is no path forward in sight. If they're all gonna be sending LinkedIn messages, that might be ruined now too. If you've gotten to this point in the video, you're wondering, Trent, what is your strategy? How have you generated over $15 million in pipeline? Here's what you gotta do. And I had this realization today. I was on a team meeting. We were looking at our Q3 pipeline and we're still in Q2. We're at the end of May, the beginning of June. We still have a whole month, over 20-ish business days until the start of Q3. And I'm concerned about Q3 because there are other people on my team and in the organization that have way more pipeline than me. So I'm looking at it and saying, it's a numbers game. Just like in prospecting, if you make 100 calls, you're bound to set a meeting or two. As an account executive, I need to close $100,000 in revenue. In order to generate that much revenue, I need pipeline coverage. I need 4 or 5x pipeline, and I don't have that. So I had this realization today. I need to be doing more work. And what I wrote down is that starting tomorrow, so May, I think 25th, Wednesday, whatever, maybe the 26th, I'm simply going back to pure output, pure volume. I'm gonna make a list every day of 100 people and I'm gonna send them an email. I'm gonna put them in auto email campaigns. I'm gonna start making more calls. I'm gonna start finding more people to reach out to. That's the strategy. When things aren't going your way, when you feel behind, when you feel like you need to generate more pipeline, the answer is always work harder, and ideally you can work smarter. So I'm trying to create leverage. I'm trying to work smarter. That's the plan. I'm gonna hit it hard. If you're watching with me, the answer is extreme action. You gotta start taking crazy action towards what you want. And if people aren't commenting, if people aren't saying, wow, you work really hard, wow, you really care. If you're not hearing things like that, then you're not doing your job correctly. You need to put in more work than other people. Show up early, work late. I was working till like 6:37 today. Hit a workout, immediately got back. Now we're ripping a video. That's what it takes, and you got to do it every day. You got to repeat. You can't think, oh, I've got a long Memorial weekend. I'm gonna take it easy on Friday. Friday, I'm gonna go twice as hard as any of the other days because that is the day. That is the day to prove to yourself that you are doing what it takes. And that's just the bottom line. And I know we're talking very mindset, very abstract. That's just how my mind works. That's how I think. And really, that's the answer here. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value from this. Go make your calls. Bottom line, cold calling is never going away. Go make your calls. Let me know in the comments below, do you agree, do you disagree? What's your favorite way to prospect? And remember, if you've ever made a cold call before, I need you to eviscerate the like button. The YouTube algorithm thanks you, and I thank you as well. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Talk to you soon. Bye.